Hello Internet, I'm Elliot the Purple Doofus and welcome to Buddy Reads, where I read a small selection of a book and review it for you. Today we are covering chapters 1 through 4 of part 2 of Murder on the Orient Express by Agatha Christie. I hope you've read up to that point yourself because I do not want to ruin anything for you. No, really. I hope you're reading this along with me because there is a lot of stuff that I'm going to miss. And I have a feeling that it's all going to come down to a clue that I don't mention, and I will feel terrible if you're not actually reading this book and just going by what I'm saying, because yeah, I'll get to the end and I'll be like, remember that clue that I didn't actually tell you at the beginning of the book? Yeah, that's what, led him to believe that this person did it. Yeah, that would be terrible. So please be reading this book as you're watching my videos, please. But anyways, let's move on. We start off with Poirot talking with the nighttime conductor, I guess you would say. The nighttime conductor actually gives him a map of all of the sleeping cars, a list of everyone who is in said sleeping cars. And we actually get the same map so that we can look at it and see who is where on this train. And then Poirot, the doctor, and the daytime conductor decide to actually start questioning people about what they saw last night, about how they know this particular victim. And they start off with Mr. Ratchet's secretary. And they're asking him, when did he go to sleep? Right after dinner? Did anyone go into his room after dinner? And he said the valet had visited, but left before the attempted murder or actual murder took place. That's not very out of the norm. They say, so what did you get up to? And he said, I didn't really get up to a whole lot. There's a bell ring at about 12:40, and I went to his room to see what was going on, and he said, that was a mistake. No need to worry. And Poirot actually asks if he said it in English or in French. That's one thing that I'm struggling with right now in this book, is there's a lot of dialogue in French, and I don't know if I'm supposed to know what they're actually saying or not, so I'm just kind of glancing over it because I don't actually know French. I hope that doesn't bite me in the ass. The secretary says that he sat down at about 12:40 at the end of the hall to take guard. Nothing else happened. The conductor obviously went to the door and... Wait a minute! Wait! It wasn't the secretary that they were asking questions about. It was the nighttime conductor. And he was just telling them what they saw. He saw M. Ratchet go to his bedroom. He saw the valet come. He answered the bell when it rang at 12:40, and M. Ratchet said, no, that was a mistake. But it was in French, and I had that problem. And then he says he sat down and sat there for the rest of the night. And Poirot says, did you ever fall asleep? And he says, no, I would have if the train was moving, but since it was at a standstill, I actually had difficulty sleeping last night. And Poirot says, okay. Poirot says, I remember hearing another person's bell at the same time, and the conductor says, oh yes, that was Princess Marimawa. The princess's bell, and I went to her room too, and she was very distraught. She had believed that the killer was in her room. And Poirot says, interesting. And then moves on to the next suspect, who is the secretary that I mentioned before. And the secretary is Mr. McQueen, the guy who is calling Mr. Mac. Yeah, that guy. And he is telling Poirot all of the stuff that he had done last night, and it turns out that McQueen actually had a connection to Ratchet that he didn't know that he had, because McQueen had known about the kidnapping and the miscarriage. And remember all that stuff I said about it was just a husband and a wife, and the wife miscarried and then died, and then during the stillborn, yeah. It was because he wasn't a husband, he was a kidnapper. He kidnapped these people, and they died while he was kidnapping them. I told you I was going to get things wrong. Okay? But that's why everyone was like, wow, should we really be worried that he is dead now? Should we really be turning this person in right now? Turns out that Mr. Mac has a connection to him because Mr. Mac's uncle was the prosecutor against Ratchet. So that's like a strong motive for him. Then they move on and they talk to the valet. And the valet is like, I usually sleep next to him, but since there weren't any first class rooms available for me, I sleep in second class with all of his stuff. There's an Italian man in my bedroom. I stayed up all night talking with the Colonel Arbuthnot. We stepped off the train. We came back on the train. I don't remember if the bolt was put back on, but it's up there now, so I must have been doing good. And he says, but that English woman, Mrs. Hubbard, she has been dying to talk to you. Oh, maybe it was Mrs. Hubbard. Yeah, it was Mrs. Hubbard. Told you I'm going to get so many things wrong. It was Mrs. Hubbard that was like, oh, there's somebody in my room. There's a killer in my room. Yeah, that was her. He says, Mrs. Hubbard has been trying to contact you. She has been trying to talk to someone. She really needs to talk to someone right now. And Mr. Perot's like, maybe we'll talk to her. Just maybe. Come on. Miss Hubbard comes in and she's like, oh my God, thank you for talking to me. I know so much. I know so much. The killer was in my room all night, except for when he did the killing. And then he was in my room. And then I called the valet and he came in and he scared him away. And Perot's like, where did he go? And he's like, I don't know. My eyes were shut the entire time. And I was just so scared. And thank you for talking to me. Thank you for relieving me. Yeah. And they have her empty her bag. She's like, this is the most interesting thing. And she empties her bag and shows him off everything. And she says, this button right here. And Perot's like, that is the conductor's button. She says, yes, I know. And it was on my magazine this morning when I woke up. It wasn't there. And Perot says, well, you did invite the conductor into your room. It could have gotten there naturally. She's like, no, but I moved everything after he left. And then when I woke up, the button was on top of a magazine that I had not touched. And Perot's like, that is very interesting. That is a clue. That is a wonderful clue that we should look into. No, he didn't turn into Dr. Seuss, but that sort of happened. I'm sorry. I also forgot to mention that there was a handkerchief at the scene when Perot was checking it all out in his pajamas. And he says, oh, did you happen to drop your handkerchief? And she says, no, that is not mine. That is far too expensive to be mine. Who buys such silk to put on their nose? No. And plus, I have CMH. That just has H. No, that is so ew. No. And that, my friends, is where our section ends for today. Well, for this video. I did notice that I actually have a viewer that is possibly reading along with me, hopefully reading along with me. I don't know. Hello, Bookbabble. I see you. Thank you for watching. If I get things wrong, please call me out in the comments, please. I am bound to, and if I'm missing important clues, please call them out in the comments, because I am bound to do that. Please! I've been Ellie the Purple-Haired Doofus. This has been oh wait, no. I actually watched a couple of your videos. I like the one on Choose Your Own Adventure books. I actually have a couple of those. Most of the ones that were published recently, the Neil Patrick Harris one, the zombie one. I didn't know that they did a sequel, though. I'm going to have to pick that one up. And then there was one other one that you mentioned that I think I got. Maybe? Anyways, if you like what I'm doing, go ahead and click the subscribe button. And if you like this video specifically, go ahead and click the like button. And go ahead and leave a comment letting me know who the most suspicious character to you is. I've been Ellie the Purple-Haired Doofus. This has been Buddy Reads, reminding you to watch up your gem radius, and I will see you all in the next section of Murder on the Orient Express by Agatha Christie. Toodles!